Welcome back to Hiking with Kathleen. In today's video, we're going to take you on a road trip. So Shannon and I are on our way to spend a few nights in Grand Bend. Now, Grand Bend, Ontario is a small town, but it's right next door to Pinery Provincial Park. And just up the highway, up Highway 21, is Bayfield. So we're going to do some exploring in that area and we're going to take you along. So we made it to the Oakwood Inn, and I'm going to show you around the room before we make it look lived in. So this gives you some sort of an idea. We ordered a room that has a king-size bed, and it's got a nice setup, so we can spread out. This is where we're going to be staying for the next 3 nights. Yeah, so Shannon went out to get a couple more things, so she'll be in here shortly. And beautiful grounds though. This is what we're really looking forward to. Snow would be nice. This is after the first week. This is going into the second week of January, and this is what we have. So we've come here in previous years where we have had lots of snow. And, you know, we've just hiked around right here on the property. We kind of hoped that there would be snow at this time of year, but you never know when you're doing the booking. And so we're going to make do, and we're going to be able to... There's somebody here. Yeah, so anyway, we've been here, you know, a few times before. Sometimes we'll come here in February. Back when we were working, we would come here when there would be in Ontario. This is a long weekend in February called the Family Day Weekend. It's the 3rd Monday of the month. And we've come here because when we were working, that gave us a nice 3-day weekend. The problem with that is that's also a busy time because everybody else has the idea of going away. But now that we're retired, we're here from a Tuesday to a Friday. So this is beautiful to be able to have all this room and have our room available to us. Oh, you know, we are to check in at 3 o'clock, and we arrived here at about 12:30. That's one of the advantages of being able to come here during the week when there are fewer people here. We've also been here when there have been like hockey tournaments, so there'd be lots of little children here, or there would be snowmobile get-togethers, and there'd be all kinds of machines out here. Well, we don't have any of that. So anyway, it's nice because it looks like we're going to have lots of peace and solitude as we walk the roads around here and make our way through into Grand Bend. So we're going to take you along. So we're just settling in and having some lunch before we go exploring. And so everything is picked up fresh this morning. And so we have roasted turkey breast and, of course, lettuce, and we have salads. And so that's what we're going to settle in and have a bite to eat. And then we're going to have a chance to see what this property looks like. keep your mouth closed on this one. Oh, what the heck? I don't like your route. This is not what I signed up for. Do you ever find you want to just bird watch from inside? I bet a lot of you can relate to this. It's been raining, and Shannon and I enjoyed going for a walk, and we explored the property. We know where the pool and the sauna are. We also know that Dave's Pub and Grill is closed until Thursday. That's what happens in the wintertime during the week. But I'm all set up to have a look outside because there have been dark-eyed juncos. That's about all that I've seen out here. But you know what? The great thing about filming from inside is that there's no water on my lens, you know? And I know I don't get the sounds of nature, but right now I'm not getting the sounds of wind either because it's pretty gusty out there. When you think about it, it's a pretty sweet setup. Got a beautiful view of the rolling property. The direction of the golf course is on the other side of this building. But this is nice because we've got trees to look at. If we were to continue further along, beyond any of the buildings you see in front of you, that's where Lake Huron is. But anyway, just kind of interesting. I'm hoping there might be some wildlife that'll show up. Well, we've arrived at Pinery, so this is day 2 for us on our little getaway to Grand Bend. And this is a nice pull-through area. It might be one we'll come back to later on for lunch, because then we'll have lunch with a view along the Ausable River. So I'm going to find a spot along there where there's an opening and be able to shoot a little bit of footage of the beauty of the Ausable River. It's basically a non-flowing river, kind of like a big pond. And so I'm going to shoot some footage, and then we're going to continue along the way and discover Pinery at a time of year when it is the most quiet, January. Really nice and quiet along here. The only things we hear is a little bit of road traffic, and but Shannon's back there shooting some photos. She brought her macro lens, so she'll be able to talk to you a little bit more about that in terms of what she's looking to photograph. It's really nice and quiet out here today. It's a Wednesday, so it's a really nice time to be here when there's a lot less foot traffic and that kind of thing, people traffic, vehicle traffic. But what we're doing is we're just, Shannon and I are just taking our time along the Ausable River. She brought her camera with the macro lens, and she can talk a little bit about what she's looking to photograph as she's taking her time along here. I think she's probably looking for some art subjects so that she can paint them this winter or next summer when we go away camping again.
It's been a couple years since I pulled out my good camera. I tend to use my point and click out of convenience. So today I fitted my camera with my macro lens, meaning I can take photos of subjects close up for added detail. It just makes for interesting art photography or art subjects.
So we're still walking along the trail that borders the Ausable River, and what was really cool, as I was sort of coming around the corner looking at the water or in that direction, I saw a couple of large birds lift up, and I wasn't sure what they were until they were up in the air. And then I saw that we had a couple of bald eagles. One was an adult and the other was an immature. Shannon had a chance to point one out that was flying overhead because I kind of lost track. You could hear their sound, but then I lost track of them. So they're pretty skittish because there's nobody else at this end of the park. And anyway, but that was a thrill to see them. Wow. So we got some pretty major beaver chews. A lot of these trees have been cleared out, these little sprigs.
Oh, look at the birch down there.
Oh yeah, that's been chewed up.
That's huge right there.
Yeah. It'd be good if your tent isn't under that. So we've been here at Pinery for about 3 hours. It's close to 11:30. I guess we got here, yeah, shortly after 8 o'clock today. And I asked Shannon if she was getting hungry, if it was time for lunch. Right? There's no sign of her. I think she's hightailed it back to the truck. Anyway, yeah, she was a really good sport. It's chilly out here. -7 degrees with the wind chill. It's pretty gusty. The wind gusts have been, at least they were forecast to be 55, 60 kilometers an hour. So pretty gusty. I think harder for the small birds to maintain their place in the sky. But that's okay. We're a little bit more sheltered because we're in the forest. It didn't make it very appealing to go down to Lake Huron. We'll be doing that during this trip though, because we still are planning to get to Bayfield, and we'll be doing that day trip tomorrow. But for right now, it was nice to just be able to spend some time along the Ausable River and see what forms of wildlife, if not present today, have been here. So lots of beaver activity. Got to see a couple of bald eagles. I know we didn't get to show you them. And some small birds. Got to see the Tufted Titmouse, which is always a nice treat. That's something you always get to see when you're at Pinery. They're fairly tame. They're used to being fed here. And we got to see some chickadees. So anyway, all in all, it's been a great trip for us. And now we're going to find a nice spot where we have a place with a view and have our lunch inside the truck. So Shannon and I are now in the campground. We just parked the car near the restrooms, and we're not too far away from a series of cabins. We're not going to focus on the cabins here at the Pinery, but that's something that we've done complete videos on. I'll link them in the description so that if you want to find out what the cabins look like inside, what to bring, and the great experience you would have if you were camping here at the Pinery using one of the cabins, you can go ahead and refer to those videos. Lunch of the champions. We've got our sandwiches and we're eating it where it's nice and toasty. But we have a view. So Shannon and I are back now in our room at Oakwood Inn, and sometime this morning the power went out here as well. So it was not out just at the Pinery, it was out throughout the whole Grand Bend area, and we stepped out, had a look at those awesome waves that were rolling in on Lake Huron into the beach at Grand Bend, and we sat in line at Tim Hortons and got a tea, and that's because we knew there wouldn't be hydro here. So anyway, the maintenance fellow who was greeting us at the front door. We had a chance to speak with him yesterday, and so he presented us with a battery-operated lantern. So we have a way of, you know, being able to see different areas of our room, like the ladies' room, considering there's no electricity. And because this building is heated by electricity as opposed to propane or, you know, a gas furnace, it's a little bit cooler, but I mean, it doesn't matter. We're inside. We're absolutely fine, and we have a Tim Hortons tea to drink. So what I want to mention at this point in the video is we had a great day at the Pinery. We spent time out on the trails. We spent time having our bagged lunch in the truck with a beautiful view of the Ausable River. And it is because of some friends that I have made over the years of my work at Pinery Provincial Park that these individuals, namely Scott, has made it possible for us to have a sponsorship from Ontario Parks. So we have been gifted an Ontario Provincial Parks Pass, which will enable us to go into the Pinery or any other place of our choosing on day trips. So Scott, I really appreciate your way of being able to make this possible for us, because we love the provincial parks. We've done a lot of filming in provincial parks. If you're not familiar with the content, it doesn't come listed in a playlist as provincial parks, but under the camping category, or you just simply do a search in our YouTube channel for the different provincial parks. Like we've been to Rondo, Wheatley, Pinery, Lake Superior, Algonquin, Chutes, Naze, Sleeping Giant. There's been a whole plethora, and we're going to some more this coming camping season. So please take some time to have a look and see the work we have done in provincial parks as far as filming and hiking, paddling, camping. And I'm sure that you'll agree that it was money well spent by Ontario Parks, so thank you very much. The other thing is, I'd like to finish off this section of the video by saying that this is one I would like to offer as a tribute to Terry Crabe. Terry Crabe is an individual that hired me back at the Pinery years ago when I started my career as a naturalist, and he is the person who was overseeing the visitor services program. He is the reason that they have the beautiful visitor center at Pinery Provincial Park. It was his vision, and he is the one who sought to raise the funds, create the awareness within the provincial government of the time, and made that possible. So hats off to your legacy, Terry Crabe. Terry unfortunately passed away this past year in 2023, and so he has left a wonderful legacy behind at Pinery. So we are in the truck, and it is 25 after 3 because we're leaving. So we have made the difficult decision to pull the plug because the hydro is still not on, and we're getting chilly in the room. So we're going to show you this beautiful facility as we drive through it. Yes, we were hoping to stay here until Friday. This is just Wednesday, and I think the concern we ended up feeling is that if the hydro doesn't come on, because we know Hydro One has been working very, very hard at trying to restore the power to the area, but if it doesn't come on, that's going to be a very chilly night in bed. It's, no propane or gas heating, so it's all electricity. And as a result, it would not make for a very comfortable night's sleep. So we're cutting our losses, and, we'll probably get a refund for the one night anyway, for Thursday night, since we stayed a little late today. And it's not their fault. The hydro being out is not their fault. But this is a really beautiful property. We had a chance to explore it a little bit last night as we were settling in, but it was a rainy day, so we even cut that short, thinking, great, we've got 3 more days here. But anyway, you just never know. So we're very happy with the time we spent in the area. We are disappointed that we're cutting it short, but we also would rather try and get home before dark if we can, because deer are active at the time when dusk hits. You'll see as we hit the town of Grand Bend, the traffic lights are out, building lights are out, and yes, I'd mentioned we stopped in for a Tim Hortons tea earlier because we saw they were open for business because they obviously have a generator allowing them to do that. So everybody coming to the stoplight is just treating it as a 4-way stop, and you figure if you're staying here in town, grocery stores, everything would be closed unless they have a generator system like the Tim Hortons. Okay, well, that is a wrap. Thank you so much for joining us in today's video, and we look forward to seeing you next Tuesday morning. Bye for now.